topic, that what are the mitigation measures, remedial measures which are being adopted at international level as well as national level. We will be discussing that those mitigation measures or remedial measures. So let me share the screen, and then certainly we will be discussing at length about this. The screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Climate change mitigation measures
Yes,
in
sir.
India. So at national level, what are the mitigation measures? What are the steps which India is taking, and what are the effects and what are the parameters which are taken into the consideration? Emission and energy overview means how the energy is correlated with the emission energy sectors. When I was teaching the sustainable development and then followed by the topics, I discussed at length also there energy and industrialization. These two are the very important factors which are responsible for the climate change. And you might have realized by this time that industrialization or industrial growth, or you can say the industries and the energy, these two sectors are contributing a lot into the quantity, as far as quantity is concerned, of the greenhouse gases. Then the emission and energy overview, if you look towards the graph, this is the point here. The million ton CO2 equivalent, and the here it is projected because we have reached already crossed 2020. Now it is not projected because this paper was authored, or you can say the published during the 2008, but it was when it was the data was observed data was up to 2005, year 2005. This is related to the observed data, and then it was projected that this will be the scenario, and this is the scenario nowadays 2020. So the trends and projections is increasing of the greenhouse gases, GHG, greenhouse gas emission trends, and their projection. Now this projection word or projected is obsolete now, means it should be deleted because now we have crossed already 2020. But the scenario is like this only. It has not come down, and it has already increased. Then the sectors which I have discussed already to you in the previous class, but here it is more categorical, that electricity and heat industries are sectors contributing 40%. Electricity and heat, this thermal power plants and electricity generation, and then appliances which are running on the basis of electricity. Suppose that the bulb, LED bulb, tube light, even air conditioner, fan, if they are running, they are also emitting greenhouse CO2. It has been calculated that how much CO2 is emitted from the illumination of a bulb of 100 watt for 8 hours. So if you switch off the bulb, it means you are saving the energy as well as you are controlling the emission of CO2. Therefore, it should be propagated, this idea or this concept among the common man, that it is not only the electricity bill when you are switching off or you are not using unnecessarily the lights as well as the fan or any mode of the electricity. It means you are not only going to save the energy, okay, save the bill, you are going to also save or curtail the emission of the CO2 or greenhouse gases. इसको थोड़ा सा इधर, थोड़ा सा. So, are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So, my point is, बस करो, उतना नहीं बंद करो यार, हवा थोड़ा आने दो. हाँ, ठीक है. So the point is, my point is just to emphasize that we are moving or shifting from the conventional energy sources to the non-conventional energy resources or renewable energy resources like solar, wind, other things. But if you are having the solar also and you are illuminating a bulb or LED from the solar system also, it means you are very happy that I have installed the solar system. Now the greenhouse gas emission is very minimized. Yes, it is minimized, but it is not finished. It is not zero, because you are eliminating or you are using that solar energy in the form of illumination of the bulbs. And unnecessarily, if you are illuminating those bulbs, it means they are emitting the CO2 so into the atmosphere. Therefore, we should propagate this idea that to the common man, so that if you know that these gases are very harmful for us and for future generation, then certainly we will switch off immediately the light or fan or any electrical appliances immediately after the use. Then, and क्या करें, ये आदत नहीं है, we are not habitual to work in the natural light. Otherwise, if you see the our history, that more intelligent peoples were doing the lot of works under the natural light. But nowadays we are accustomed and habitual to work inside the room with AC and sufficient light, means artificial light. This way we are also contributing a lot. Then followed by the industry, 15% transport, household services, agriculture is also very significant in our country. Then 7% from the waste. The per capita emission, if you look towards the world, India is here. India is not emitting much as compared to the world average, and developed countries, huge difference if you see India versus developed country and developing countries. So India is not, and the greenhouse gas intensity per capita emission, it is less, but here intensity is very significant. Okay, so the greenhouse gas intensity is very significant in our country. Besides that, India is having less per capita emission of the greenhouse gases. Then this is the CDM projects. That is let me discuss first the CDM project. Clean development mechanism. Here, if you see what is the CDM. International participation, India is a party to both. It is very, very important. United Nations Framework Convention, when I will be teaching to the international agenda for our treaties, which has been adopted so far to curtail the greenhouse gases or to curb the global warming, then this is one very important Kyoto Protocol and United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. UNFCCC बोला जाता है, UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on the Climate Change and Kyoto Protocol. So the India has no binding emission limits under the protocol. You see, the beauty. India has no binding emission limits under the protocol, but however, India is an active participant in the Clean Development Mechanism, CDM. And CDM grants marketable emission credits for verified reduction in developing countries. And this is important here. India has more than 345 registered clean development mechanism projects, more than any other country. You see the things which our country or India is doing in the sense of curtailing or mitigating the effect of the greenhouse gases. And about a third of all projects globally, in terms of overall volume of CDM reduction, China ranked first, means India and third. Here, जितने भी ग्लोबल लेवल पे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं क्लीन डेवलपमेंट मैकेनिज्म के, उसमें इंडिया रैंक्स थर्ड एंड चाइना एंड द फर्स्ट. 51%, while India is 14%. एंड कौन से इसमें प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं? बायोमास एंड विंड पावर। चाइना में आप देखेंगे, चाइना का अगर देखेंगे आप एग्जाम्पल, if you look towards the China projects, then it is more concentrated to the biomass and wind power, beside the solar and other things. Because we are lagging behind in this biomass and wind power, but we are moving very fast nowadays to have the biomass energy and wind power. If you look towards this is one aspect, and that was the type of register clean development mechanism projects. Biomass 33, wind power 16, then energy efficiency projects 12. How you can have, what is the concept of energy efficiency? Anyone? I am asking from you people. What do you mean by the energy efficiency project here? Anyone? आपको बताना भी पड़ेगा, ऐसा नहीं यूनिलैटरल टॉक नहीं होगा, कुछ तो बोलना पड़ेगा। Anyone?
सर ये देखना पड़ेगा कि रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी जो है उसको भी हम अच्छी तरीके से यूज करें, यही।
नहीं, energy efficiency does not categorize the renewable and non-renewable. Energy efficiency for both the sectors, renewable and non-renewable. Yeah, somebody was replying.
So whatever energy is used, we should have maximum output from it.
Very good, that is there. But how? What should be the mechanism? How we can enhance the energy efficiency under any projects? Amisha Sinha.
So I'm right now thinking about it.
Okay. Ananya Patil. Ananya Patil.
Sir, energy efficiently means by using it in a very proper manner.
No, that is there. That literal meaning many students have told. I am trying to ask you or to know from you people that what is the mechanism through which we can enhance the energy efficiencies in any sector, and with tell some 10 examples. Apurva Singh. Apurva Singh. Arjuna Jana.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am still thinking. I could not get answer.
That is your answer. I could not answer. Yeah.
So like from day-to-day life example, like we use lights in our house, so we can use LED lights to save more of light energy.
Correct. We are moving from some conventional applications, or you can say the appliances, towards the modern mode of appliances, like Aditi has cited the example. So we are going to save the energy as well as the output is okay. It is not reduced. Energy efficiency is that with low input, maximum output. आउटपुट में यदि कमी हो जाती है तो उसको हम इफिशियंसी नहीं मानते हैं। यदि किसी कार्य को करने के लिए एनर्जी अगर कम आप लगा रहे हैं और वो आउटपुट नहीं हो रहा है, उससे डाउन हो गया आउटपुट, ग्रोथ कम हो गई, दैट इज नॉट एनर्जी इफिशियंसी. Many things, many is in the, you can say the automobile scrubber. If you see the scrubber, roll off scrubber क्या होता है भाई? कभी नाम सुना है स्क्रबर का?
No, sir.
No. Scrubber is used in the automobile sectors to emit less greenhouse gases, means CO2 and this other sulfur dioxide is reduced by this, you can say the mechanism. स्क्रबर क्या लिखा रहता है? स्क्रबर युक्त प्रदूषण मुक्त. आपने कभी ऑटो में पढ़ा है? पीछे लिखा रहता है स्लोगन टाइप. स्क्रबर युक्त means it has been scrubber has been installed in that engine, and that is pradushan mukt means pollution free, means it is going to reduce, it is not going to curtail 100%, but it is going to reduce it, the emission of the CO2. Then the proper combustion engine, if old engine is there, conventional engines long back which were existing, if you are using that, more and more energy and more and more emission of the greenhouse gases will be there. Both energy efficiency is very negligible. So in all these sectors, machines and the appliances, in both machines and appliances, if they are technologically they are improved in such a way that on one hand they are emitting very less greenhouse gases, and on other hand their output is very good or okay, then that is called energy efficiency.
So
yeah.
So can we also say that some research on using hydrogen fuel can also be a part of this these energy efficiency projects?
Energy efficiency projects, hydrogen fuel is a part. The hydrogen fuel is a clean energy. Hydrogen is a clean energy source, but if you want to describe or explain the energy efficiency, then it will be applicable for both, whether it is the conventional source of energy or non-conventional source of energy. And the meaning is that, whether suppose that you are putting the solar panel or wind energy, if that energy produced by solar panel is not efficiently utilized, that is not energy efficiency. Because अगर उसी सोलर पैनल से एक आदमी अपना एलईडी जला रहा है और उससे काम कर रहा है, और कोई आदमी उसका बल्ब जला दिया जो कन्वेंशनल बल्ब है, तो सोलर एनर्जी का क्या हुआ कि आपका स्टोरेज एक तो जो 4 घंटा चलना चाहिए था 2 घंटा में समाप्त हुआ, और इमिशन CO2 का उस बल्ब से बहुत ज्यादा हो गया. So ultimately you have not gone for the energy efficiency, although you are utilizing the clean energy, but energy efficiency is not there. Did you get my example?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. Thank you, Amisha. So let me move forward. Policies contributing to climate mitigation. These institutions I have named earlier also, told to you, TERI, and certain research articles and the papers I had also discussed and shared with you while delivering the talk or lecture, or you can say the teaching. The Energy and Resource Institute, TERI का नाम क्या है? The Energy and Resources Institute, ये है TERI का नाम. Headquarter is Delhi. Concluded that in the absence of a number of energy policies that are currently being implemented, CO2 emission would be nearly 20% higher compared to business as well scenario in both 2021 and 2031. Now you see the situation. In spite of all the efforts, what are the policies of the government which is there and to be enacted? Now the policy has been changed, modified. तो ये अब जो 20% हायर कह रहा है, अब ये 20% हायर नहीं रह गया है. It is almost 8 to 10%, because policies has been changed and we are adopting on a war footing. India is moving very fast in this direction for using the biomass, wind, solar, and the nuclear power up to certain extent. All these. So therefore, this percentage, 20%, has been reduced, but it is still higher. It is not. It has not come down 8 to 10% here. Then, if you see, first National Action Plan on Climate Change was released in June 2008. 5th June is famous for what? 5th June is famous for what? Anyone?
World Environment Day.
Yeah. Why it is 5th June was celebrated? Is celebrated as in World Environment Day. Why 5th June? Any reason? Any reason? Because on the 5th June 1972 at Rio de Janeiro, the bill means this you can say agenda was approved for curtailing the, you can say, for cleaning the environment, for betterment of the environment, first time at Rio de Janeiro. So that's why every year on 5th June we are going to say, we are celebrating the World Environment Day. Okay. So this in June 2008, India's first National Action Plan on Climate Change was released, and later on, if you look towards this Electricity Act 2003, then state electricity regulatory commissions, the national tariff policy related to this electricity, they were important. Just hold on. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I was discussing the this national tariff policy as well as Electricity Act. Means all out efforts should be made. Means the overall objective of all these, either it is national tariff policy, Electricity Act, or this national action plan on climate change. What is the ultimate motto or objective is to curtail the emission of the greenhouse gases, and we should reach towards the rural areas besides the urban area, show that the entire population is covered under the renewable sources of energy. And if according to the rural electrification policy, electrification of all villages must be completed by 2012, that is old now. It has been completed. Okay, that is, the data is old, but let us come towards the other mode of the, or you can say the renewable energy sources: wind power, then solar power, then hydropower. If you look towards this mechanism, energy efficiency and conservation, in that let us discuss these things. On the transportation vehicle, the National Auto Fuel Policy mandated that all new four-wheeled vehicles in 11 cities meet Bharat Stage 3rd emission norms for conventional air pollution. Now it is Euro 4, and it has been changed now from Euro 4 to Euro, anybody? Euro 4 to? Anyone? This is very, very simple thing. Anyone? Any idea? From Euro 4, we are at which stage? India is adopting the metropolitan cities में जो फोर व्हीलर्स हैं उनके लिए कौन सी स्टेज पे काम किया है? हेलो 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 हेलो
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
6. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
6, Euro 6. So we have moved already. Mass transit is Delhi Metro is example of mass transit. When the mass movement or mass transportation is by the clean energy resources or by the energy which is going to be optimized in such a way that the per capita utilization of the energy is very, very less. That is called the mass movement or mass transport. So the any metro train is example of it. The biofuels, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas is implementing mandatory program for introduction ethanol based gasoline. This is one, blended. Ethanol blended gasoline. Abhi recently our Prime Minister, what he has advised or suggested that India is going to adopt which type of blending in the petroleum, because petrol price is very high. Anyone?
Is ethanol blended?
Yeah, ethanol blended. So it was 5% gasohol नेशन वाइड बाई अप्रैल 2008 तक कम से कम 5% जो है इथेनॉल ब्लेंडेड गैसोलीन करना चाहिए था, लेकिन अभी इस 5% से काम नहीं चलने वाला है। जो ये जो प्राइसेस हैं और ये जो आपकी इमिशन ऑफ दी गैसेस हैं, इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए इसको कर्टेल मतलब और इंक्रीज करना, सॉरी। Then the forestry, these are the sectors, biofuel sectors, then mass transport or the mass movement sectors, then the vehicle section, as a CNG application of CNG is example. Then forestry is another example. These sectors, when we are going to strengthen these sectors or enhance, accelerate these sectors, certainly we are going to achieve the objective of this reversal of the climate change in our country. Let me come to the international level and let me share the screen, and then you will find certain ideas and glimpses about the international, you can say, aspect. What measures internationally are being adopted to curtail the emission of the greenhouse gases. So let me share that.
Sir?
Yeah.
Small doubt.
Yeah, please.
Sir, you said about ethanol blending, no, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, for that we need to increase the sugarcane area, no, sir, in order to make more ethanol.
Do you know that only sugarcane product is responsible for ethanol?
Sir, mostly, sir.
Mostly, but not only sugarcane. You complete your question. Sorry for interruption. You complete your question.
Yes, sir. So my question is that if we are, as a country, we are increasing the production of ethanol and implementing it in the petrol sector, does can India strain in water resource availability, sir?
Very good question. Very good thinking and question. Let me answer like this, that first, only sugarcane is not responsible for ethanol production, but yes, certainly we are using the sugarcane product for the ethanol production. There are two aspects where the water level is shallow, groundwater level is shallow in the country, and soil is befitting, then certainly we should grow the sugarcane, no problem. Only the area where the poor irrigation is there, or the water table is depleted, or the water scarcity is there, certainly we should not develop or accelerate the production or the crop, you can say the aerial coverage under that sugarcane crop. So India, you know, diverse country as far as water resource availability is concerned, so nature of soil is concerned, slope is concerned. So we have to identify those areas which are waterlogged or shallow water, groundwater level. In those areas, we have to enhance the production of the sugarcane, and there are two benefits. Not only the production of ethanol, there are so many production of sugar bills are running by the sugarcane. Then the farmer income, per capita income is increased by that. So this is the one way through which both the things can be taken care of. Okay? Did you get my answer?
Yes, sir. I got your point. Thank you.
Okay. So let me come to certain here. Let us discuss sector specific mitigation. Whether it is visible, or let me enlarge. Now it is visible. The screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
So the carbon dioxide capture and storage. What is this? Anybody has listened? अब आपने सुना है टर्मिनोलॉजी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कैप्चरिंग एंड स्टोरेज, CCS?
No, sir.
नहीं सुना है. ओके. Carbon dioxide CO2 capture and storage is a process consisting of the separation of the CO2 from industrial and energy related sources, transport to a storage location and long-term isolation from the atmosphere. This is the carbon dioxide capture and storage. कितनी अच्छी बात है. देखिए इसमें लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है? CO2 is dissolved in the water or not?
Yes, sir.
Very good. If it is dissolved, and suppose that you are having any container and sometimes it may leak, then that will be a problem. Here it is written, leakage of CO2 from leaking injection wells, abandoned wells, across faults and infective confined layer could potentially degrade the quality of groundwater, and the release of CO2 back into the atmosphere could also create local health and safety concerns. So this is the limitation. But this is one technology, approach through which we can store the carbon dioxide, first capturing and then storage. Then bioenergy crops. Bioenergy crops, which are responsible for production of biofuel. What are the questions raised? Raises question on several issues, including fertilizer and pesticide requirements, nutrient cycling, energy balances, biodiversity impacts, hydrology and erosion, conflicts with food production, and the level of financial subsidies required. All these are the constraints. These are the constraints. While this is the opportunity. Bioenergy produces mitigation benefits by displacing fossil fuel use. ये तो हम जो अल्टरनेटिव्स हैं उसको बता रहे हैं, और उसमें क्या है, दिस इज द अपॉर्चुनिटी, नंबर 1 सेंटेंस. बट आफ्टर दैट marked with yellow color, these are the constraints. The energy production of greenhouse gases mitigation potential of dedicated energy crops depends on the availability of the land, which must also meet demands for food as well as for nature protection. So this is the one thing, and then we move towards this here. If bioenergy plantations are properly located, designed and managed, they may reduce nutrients leaching and soil erosion and generate. आजकल जो ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग है, ओके, उसको देखिए, बायोमास एनर्जी देखिए, बायो एनर्जी क्रॉप्स. सो इफ यू आर कमिंग टू दिस टेबल, water aspect, energy aspects, buildings, industry, agriculture, forest, waste. All these, plus means it is going to accelerate the, you can say, the enhancement of the greenhouse gases, minus means it can be, if you are minimizing it, it will curtail down. So the biomass electricity, this is another aspect. Non-hydro-renewable energy supply technologies, particularly solar, wind, geothermal, and biomass, are currently small overall contributors to global heat and electricity supply, but are increasing most rapidly, albeit from a low base. Should the growth of biomass electricity is restricted due to cost? This is one constraint. Okay. This is the constraints. Yeah? Sorry. ये constraints है. Growth of biomass electricity is restricted due to cost as well as social and environmental barriers. What is the social and environmental barriers? Biomass electricity, social क्या barrier है इसका? Anyone? बोलो भाई. Anyone? What is the social and environmental barriers? Geothermal energy, hydropower, all these are the alternatives for reversal of the climate change. अपने कंट्री में जियोथर्मल एनर्जी कहाँ सोर्स है? एनीवन? Geothermal energy, and what is the geothermal energy? Anybody? What do you mean by geothermal energy? Amisha?
So geothermal energy is like due to the heat of the like the surface, basically energy can be used. The energy from the rocks, basically.
No. Anyone? Harshita?
Sir, the energy from the Earth's surface due to heat and steam.
No.
Due to hot springs, sir.
No, geothermal energy. Anybody? Anybody?
It's energy that is extracted from the earth crust.
Very good. Very good. कौन बोला? Aditi. Earth crust, below the earth crust, not from the earth crust, below the earth crust or inside the earth crust, you can say, inside the earth crust, the energy which is generated from the faulting due to the volcanism, historical time, long years, million years back, there were volcanism, there was still earthquakes are coming, plate tectonics. Due to that, there are certain major faults in our country, in Himalayan region particularly. Tectonically active regions are Himalayas are tectonically active regions, and therefore inside the earth crust, when they are slippage occurs of the fault plane, then movement occurs of the smaller plates, and that is responsible for the heat generation. And if the groundwater is there or spring, that is also a source of groundwater, and they are their temperature becomes very high. High means then the normal water, and that is the source of energy, and that is called geothermal energy. The area under the geothermal sources of geothermal energy is not much, it is less. And secondly, it is also mechanically, or you can say transport to the power grid. It is difficult to tap the geothermal energy, one aspect, or any energy, solar energy, wind energy, to tap or to generate the energy is one aspect. To transport or transmit rather the energy to the power grid, the grid rather, that is another aspect. So both cannot be clubbed. So for the geothermal, what are the constants and opportunities? That at international or globally, there are several spots or areas which are very good source of geothermal energy, but the constants that it either the production is very less, or the power, the energy magnitude is less, and the second is transmission of this energy produced by the geothermal source of energy is problematic. Therefore, these two things are obstructing us to move ahead to develop the geothermal energy sources. In India, I just told you that Himalayan areas, Puga Valley, and then in Himachal Pradesh, Karcham, Wangtu, all these Rikangpio, the area. Today, you might have listened the news that near the Rikangpio, a very major bridge has been washed away, and several peoples have, means you can say, lost their life. And then the earthquake tremors has occurred today, just few hours back. In कहाँ पे अभी आया भूकंप? अभी आया हरियाणा, शायद हरियाणा है या कहाँ है अभी, तो बता रहा है। कोई सुना है? अभी भूकंप आया था, अभी 4 इंटेंसिटी उसकी रिश्टर स्केल पे 4 है, 1 or 2 hour back.
महाराष्ट्र में है।
महाराष्ट्र, विच प्लेस? अभी तो 2 बजे की न्यूज मैं सुन रहा था, उसमें था मनमाड़। म्यांमार नहीं है, मनमाड़ है। म्यांमार तो मणिपुर।
I think it is South states.
South states. Very good. Some where?
Hyderabad.
हाँ, yeah, Hyderabad. Yeah. Correct. Hyderabad. Yes, Hyderabad. 4. The intensity on the Richter scale is 4, and Hyderabad. Yes, very much correct. I recalled that it is Hyderabad. So this earthquakes and volcanism. The volcanism is not in our only except Andaman and Nicobar Island. There is no place where India is having the active volcano. No. But internationally, yes, this is also a source of energy. But only the problem again concerns the very high temperature near volcano. It cannot be tapped. Energy used in buildings. Green building concept has come. You know the concept of the green building. Green building means it should have fitted minimum use of the energy in that. Ventilation should be proper so that minimum use of the air conditioners, minimum use of the other electrical appliances which are going to emit the greenhouse gases. Then the firefighting in such a way that it take care. Then the rainwater harvesting. All these are the parameters of the green building. Then the plantation in and around the building so that it is sink for the CO2 emission. सिंक, सोर्स एंड सिंक, 2 कंसेप्ट है, आपको मैंने बताया भी था, सोर्स एंड सिंक। सिंक को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, सोर्स को कम करना पड़ेगा। वी हैव टू रिड्यूस द सोर्सेज, वी हैव टू कर्टेल डाउन द सोर्सेज ऑन वन हैंड, वी हैव टू इंक्रीज द सिंक्स ऑन द अदर हैंड। ओके, सो थैंक यू वेरी मच। Let me, other things are also there, afforestation and reforestation, which I covered. Cropland management, then avoided reduced deforestation, solid waste management, all these, because the waste, from the waste also we are having the different type of you can say the emission of the greenhouse gases. So with these words, any question, any doubt from any side? आपके तरफ से कोई डाउट है किसी को? प्लीज 2-3 मिनट हम इसके लिए देते हैं। इट इज नाउ 3:58 कि एक तो 1 मिनट पहले छोड़ देते हैं कि आप दूसरे क्लास में ज्वाइन करें अच्छे से। दूसरा, कुछ आपके मन में अगर क्वेरी हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं। यस
So can you tell us the environmental and social barriers of biomass electricity?
Very good, Ria. Very good question, and she was very much alert. I think when I was discussing that, I was asking from you people, environmental and social barriers related to the biomass energy. When you are burning the biomass, people are not accepting it. Suppose that you are burning the trees, you are burning the certain waste material of the agriculture. Socially, the certain varieties are not appreciated. Still in our ethics, we are very much afraid and fear that these things should not be burned, this thing should not be burned, this thing should not be burned. That is the social problem, social barriers. Then environmental barriers, that when you are burning to get the biomass without any proper arrangement, then certainly you are going to pollute the ambient air also beyond your control. So that is those are the 2 barriers. But those barriers are not permanent, not the stigma, rather that can be modified, that can be improved, and the barriers, the magnitude of the barriers may be minimized by the क्या कहते हैं उसको, convincing or by convincing rather to the peoples, and then awareness among the peoples that no, if the fresh air or sorry, if the emission of the greenhouse gases will be less, our generation, future generation will be very happy. ये कंसेप्ट ला करके अगर देने से जो सोशल बैरियर है वो कमजोर पड़, और टेक्नोलॉजी का जब अगर हम यूज कर लेते हैं तो इन्वायरमेंटल बैरियर्स भी हमारे कमजोर पड़ते हैं, फिर ठीक हो जाता है. डिड यू गेट द पॉइंट?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me download the attendance and then.
Sir.
Okay. हाँ जी.
Sir, when comparing with fossil fuels, its pollution is less only, no sir? Geothermal.
Yeah. Geothermal pollution is negligible. Very negligible.
Okay, sir.
Very negligible. It is a source of clean energy. Geothermal energy is the source of clean energy. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.